back, Tactics Talk. On this episode, I got a bit of a supplemental. I've already showed this game once, and I did a video on it. It was titled something to the extent of, let me find it, T3045M, just an okay game, question, be carefully aggressive in parentheses. And somebody put a comment on it, which I thought was really interesting, and the reason for this follow-up video, and the reason we're going to watch this again a little bit with a different take on it. It says, dude, you don't need my name, is who wrote it. And it says, you at 135, poke around corner. No one's there, nothing happens. Me, poke around corner, get lit up by 3 unspotted TDs at Alpha Bravo 910, track lit on fire, dead. Elapsed time roughly 4 seconds. You at 240, poke all the way up over the hill, squeeze off a shot, get all the way back behind hard cover without so much as a scratch. me. Poke all the way over the hill, get tracked by the Hellcat and nuked by Artie, who was somehow conveniently pre-aimed at exactly where I would be and cratered. Elapsed time roughly 1.5 seconds. So while that is funny, it is actually an interesting point. And the reason we're going to talk about this here is because this is about SA. It is also about a little bit of luck as well, but what you do with your luck, that's what's important, not the fact that you get it. It is possible that when I come around this corner right here that there are 3 TDs and they see me. But I would say it's not very possible because I'm going to tell you why. This Lorraine is up here spotting, and if there had been anything down this road close, he'd have seen it or he'd have taken hits by it. Okay? Those are 2 ways to know. We only have 1 light, so I can't really tell as far as lights go what's around, but that's another piece of SA I would use. In addition to that, watch as I come around this corner. I'm using all the current SA that I have. I know guys like to try to cross here, so I'm just going to go take a quick look. But I am not traveling very far down that road, right? So while I poked, you would have to be either in these bushes or right here in these bushes. Anything further back really isn't going to have much of a shot at me. And I'm just looking for those guys who are going to be here or crossing and see what's going on. So it's about management of your exposure and about SA. So now what I know is there's a bunch of guys on my right pushing up and over and filtering into that middle road there to include the 40T and the other guys. It doesn't feel like right now they have a lot of tanks here. Now I could be wrong because this is an early assessment, but I go ahead and go up into the middle right here, assessing that I don't think they really have much right here, and I've got my guys topping, proving that there really isn't much up in here. In addition to that, they're not getting hammered by anything, so that makes me feel like there's really not much potentially back here either. These are all things that I'm taking into account. I have a light on the 58s or 59, so I'm going to just come up over here, take a shot, and come back. And that is risk exposure management right there. I came up, yes, I got spotted. Yes, guys pre-aimed could have got shots on me right there, but I didn't come all the way up. I got up just enough to take a shot, and I immediately went down because I knew more than likely I was going to get lit right there. So it is just risk management, right? Hit points, exposure. And now, this is very important, I'm going somewhere completely different. I popped up there once. They do have artillery. There are more than likely guys back there, so let's just go somewhere else. Make whoever's looking there forget about me for a moment, and maybe I can go get a shot on this lit up KV-85, who is foolishly out in the middle, but I end up missing. Taking a slight risk here with artillery potentially seeing me, pop up there, nothing, and I come back. And when I say artillery seeing me, I mean artillery focusing on me. But what else do I know about this part of the game? There's still a lot of targets out there, and there's this battle going on down here. These guys are definitely lit over here. It's unlikely to me that the artillery is paying too much attention to me at the moment with so many lit tanks, and that's one of the reasons that I trundled over to the other side of the map, or the other side of this bowl right here. And as I pop up here, I'm being very careful, just looking for a target. There's a lot of little openings in these bushes. I think people feel a little more secure in these than they really are. I'm going to come up here, get a shot off on him, immediately back because I can see the T-20. I know the stir's over there. I know there's some TDs unaccounted for. Come back here and let's go see what's going on. So what else is happening? Well, my medium buddies are really just kind of tearing them up on that side of the map over there. And they're not really taking a whole lot of hits, so I don't think there's a whole bunch over here. So we're looking around. There's 3045. All right, I did get lit. Now that's, I'm not exactly certain where that came from. Potentially the 3045 if my rear end was out from behind that bush right there. So that was certainly a possibility. I'm more than likely still lit by this T20. or I stopped while I was still lit and the artillery thinks I'm still there, because I end up getting lucky there and missed. And another shot comes in. And now we come around. So what was the point of all that discussion? The point is I was actually using SA as I had it currently on the map while I was doing this thing. And while I was exposing myself to risk every once in a while, that's part of the carefully aggressive that I always talk about. I was taking chances. Yes, it could have been that I got nuked by the ISU because he was sitting right there waiting for someone to pop. But you either play carefully aggressive like that, using as much of your current SA as you can to make good decisions, or you sit behind rocks and ridges and wait for the enemy to come to you. And I would contend that what I just did is far and away, head and shoulders, leaps and bounds, whatever term you want to use, better than humping a rock or hanging out at cap or being back there guarding the M12 all day. As long as you're making smart, careful, aggressive decisions, using whatever SA you have at the time, as much of it as you can, that is much better than being passive. All right, guys, that's all I have for that one. I thought that was an interesting comment, and it deserves a few explanations and potentially some learning points on risk management in a world of tanks. All right, take it easy, guys. Hope you learned something. Hope you like what you saw. If you did, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Thanks for your support, as always. We will see you.